Good morning, friends. It's 10 a.m. at the time of recording. Of course, by the time this gets to you, it's going to probably be afternoon, but 10 in the morning right now, and it's minus 21.8, minus 22 right now here in Wells, BC, 3,935 feet above sea level. Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. Today is a weather episode, or at least maybe not today, but right now is a weather episode talking about how cold it is in BC, how shitty it is, how much snow is coming down there in the south coast, how long is the cold going to stay around for. You know, this same thing we've been talking about every day. I mean, really, on the interior right now, the weather story is kind of fucking boring. It's like we can report on how cold it is so much, and we will. We'll do that. Try to keep looking ahead for that moment we see the modeling say, warmth is on the way.
There it is. This is bad news. My God. Falling out right now. Anything could happen.
Get on! Wow.
I'll watch the video later. They dry up in this.
Tell us, Joey. Tell us. Well, okay, I'm here to tell you about the snowfall that fell. Flurry of activity across the south coast on the 2nd of February 2025 as a low-pressure system west of Vancouver Island sent waves of convective snow across the south coast. The following is a summary of weather event information received by Environment and Climate Change Canada as of 12 p.m. on the 2nd of February 2025. We had 14 to 24 centimeters of snow in West Vancouver, 14 or 24, 14 to 24. I'm not sure exactly which it is. Is it 14? Is it 24? No one fucking knows. West Vancouver has something between 14 and 24. Lynn Valley has 20. We know that Lynn Valley had 20. We're absolutely sure of that. East Vancouver, 16 cents in East Vancouver. That's actually a lot for you guys. Squamish, 15. Port Alberni, 13. Crazy to see the biggest snow totals there in Vancouver itself. Westwood, Plateau, not Plato, Plateau. Plato is a philosopher. It's spelled differently. 10 centimeters there. Downtown Vancouver, 10 centimeters. Richmond, 9. Horseshoe Bay, 8. Shelt, 7. Tofino Airport. Even Tofino Airport got 6 centimeters. That's wild. And Vancouver International Airport got 3 whole centimeters of snow at Vancouver International Airport. Joey, are you in a funny mood today? From Frankie McDonald. Why'd you fucking ask, Frankie? Actually, as a matter of fact, I am in kind of a funny mood. Day 4 in the house. Yeah, I haven't gone outside in a couple days because it's fucking cold out there. You know what I did? I bought a bunch of wood inside the house, and goddamn, I've almost burnt it all, so I'm going to have to go back outside today at some point. Yeah, I am going crazy right now, Plastic Frankie, because the whole world is fucking crazy. But I'm not here to talk about that right now. Just the weather. Keep it together, Joe. We just got to talk about the weather only. Okay. So the story kind of looks like this. And you know what? I haven't even mentioned that there's some new avalanche incidents that we're going to talk about today in the show. New avalanche incidents. Remember how on Friday I was telling you all, don't go fucking around the mountains all weekend because you might cause an avalanche and get yourself all fucked up there, boys. And, well, you said, I'm not going to watch Joey on the Caribou Weather Dude because he's a fucking liberal. Yeah, he's one of them snowflakes. Yeah, he thinks that there should be equal rights for gay people. He's in favor of women's right to choose. I'm not watching that fucking guy's channel. Oh, my God, Avalanche! You know, maybe, just maybe, some of you will start fucking listening to the Caribou Weather Dude. So, all on the west coast of BC today, now until Tuesday, except continuing into Wednesday and possibly until later this week for inland regions. What the fuck did I just read? Now until Tuesday, so that today's Monday, except continuing into Wednesday, now until Tuesday, except continue, and possibly until later this week for inland regions. So no one knows. Okay. BC, North Coast, Central Coast, including inland regions. An Arctic air mass and very strong outflow winds are giving low wind chill values near minus 25 to 20 until Tuesday. Some moderations expected later in Tuesday. For inland regions, wind chill values may lower to near minus 20 in the overnight and early hours on Wednesday and possibly until later this week. Outflow winds are extremely high through the mainland inlets where northeasterly winds are gusting 90 to 120 kilometers an hour. Ouch! Frostbite can happen even on your pecker. One time I almost got frostbite on my cock while playing hockey on mushrooms, and I was so high I didn't realize that my track pants, my guy was just dangling around down there, as your legs are spread apart, you're skating hard, and suddenly I was like, put my hand down there, I was like, what the... It's very cold down there. Up at Muncho Lake, if it's too cold for you to stay outside, maybe your pet doesn't like it very much either. Just to keep that in mind, that animals are not made of superhuman stuff. Okay, 10 to 15 centimeters. I totally fucked that one up. 15 centimeters of snow for Langdale, Seashell, Gibsons, Half Moon Bay. An unstable air mass combined with the convergence over the Strait of Georgia will continue to produce flurries over the area this morning. Further accumulations of 5 to 10 centimeters can be expected. They will become less intense this evening on the Vancouver Island East Coast. 20 centimeters of snow there for that snowfall warning. Now until Tuesday evening for Greater Victoria, Malahat, Southern Gulf Islands, East Vancouver Island from Fanny Bay to Duncan. And on to the northeast side, 10 centimeters of snow for you. East Vancouver Island, Courtney, Campbell River, expect some snow for you as well. Go to the south side down there by Victoria now until Tuesday evening. 20 centimeters of snow. That's what we're just looking at. There's one guy here in its own little box. Malahat Highway. Okay, that's why. 20 centimeters of snow for the Malahat Highway. And then additional information shows that even on the west coast, which is highly unusual, the very on the west coast of Vancouver Island, looking at 5 centimeters of snow for you right there. Down into the lower mainland, up the Fraser Valley, going up Harrison Lake and things like that. Arctic outflow warning. Wind chill values near minus 20 this morning. They get Arctic outflow warnings for minus 20. Meanwhile, it's been 25 below or here or whatever. Look at down on southeastern BC. Extreme cold warning for those in Yoho, Kootenay, Elk Valley. 35 to 40 below. Screaming cold in the Rockies. Screaming cold on the Alberta side down to minus 50. On the Pincher side, it looks like on the Crow's Nest Highway, and that also encompasses a whole bunch of rest of Alberta there. I hate that when you click on these things, you can't read what towns are in the warning. You really need to do something about this, Environment Canada, because it's like I click on it, like, oh, what's there? Oh, and now I can't see. Like, thanks. That doesn't make any sense. It still doesn't make any sense to be. Minus 40. It's actually going to be a little bit, a little bit colder up there than it is right here. Minus 40 in the Fort St. John and Dawson Creek area. Extreme cold puts everyone at risk. Not everybody, actually. Only people who are out exposed to it. If you are sitting next to the wood stove like me, your risk is pretty low. Okay, over on the Saskatchewan side, minus 40 to 45. Snow is pushing in from the United States. We were looking at that band down here over the last bunch of days and the models, right? That is making its way into the south end of the prairies. Extreme cold thresholds existing until Tuesday morning at the least. However, areas to the north in the vicinity of the Yellowhead will continue with the bitterly cold temperature until Wednesday. Temperatures expected to kind of moderate by Thursday, maybe seeing some improvement by Thursday. 45 below. Wind chill values, and oh man, it's just super, super cold everywhere. Then we got special weather statements in eastern Canada here, Ontario and whatnot. Okay, 2 new incidences to talk about. One in the Monashees from Burnt Knob, it's called. So Burnt Knob, there's been an accident at the Burnt Knob, and then the sled ski slides in North Rockies there. Ben Hawkins has a report on that. So let's get right to the story and find out what happened at Burnt Knob here first. Well, Burnt Knob, that's just south of Revelstoke here. You see this highway here? That takes you down towards the ferry. As you know, you can go down to Nelson that way. So on the 2nd of February, the last skier down triggered a small avalanche that hit the regroup and swept 2 people off their feet. The group learned that there is need for more mindful and direct communication of where group regrouping occurs. So they don't have much of a story there, but they had a little lesson for themselves that I guess maybe it sounds like they were scattered after the fact. And they say, well, we could make that especially better next time. We got this one from Saturday, sled ski slides. That looks like it's just north of Highway 16. If you go to the east of Prince George, okay, yeah, that's an area I've never been into these mountains up here, actually. That's one of the areas sort of nearby, where this little section where I'm like, I'd like to spend some time exploring there. It seems like there's some things to find. We toured up through the dense trees before the terrain opened up into an old wildfire that left an area of sparse trees and alder. Okay, the forest is cleared a little bit. I imagine that wildfires can make for avalanche, increase the avalanche potential in places, right? Like just like it can mudslides and landslides. We carefully picked our way up using the terrain and tree cover, but we did have one shooting crack as we toured. Near the top of the small burn, we saw a natural avalanche on surface ore fail on approximately 36 to 40 degree slope. We decided to turn back from the sparse trees and steep slopes above the burn and head back down to the dense forest using a mellower 30 to 33 degree opening we had taken up. We had talked about exit routes and safe regroups before we chose to ski the main open pitch back down the dense trees cover one at a time. The first skier triggered a size 2 avalanche in their second turn that propagated out to their left and was 60 meters wide, ran 80 to 90 meters. They skied towards the edge before being knocked over and were left on the surface near the tail of the soft debris. The skier was okay with no injuries but was missing a ski pole. Later we noted a size 1.5 ski remote as we left the meadows. Great skiing in the trees and lower angle terrain. Really nice photo there. I love that. Here we have a crown, the first natural avalanche is 45 centimeters deep, over 13 millimeters of surface hoar. So you can see the surface hoar here, and you can see this layer of snow on top. This is some of the fresh snow that just happened, and it just rolls off that, kind of like, remember like back in the day when you go into the, if any of you are ever from Ontario and you go into the Brewers Retail, and they had that like, bunch of rollers, and they roll your fucking 2-4 beer down there, whoosh, and you catch it. And that's kind of like what I think of that surface horror. It's like those rollers you throw the beer on, and the snow is the beer. That's a terrible analogy. I don't drink anymore, by the way. Size 1.5 natural caused us to reevaluate our route. Debris and location of skier caught in avalanche. You only got one pole, man. Where's your pole? Oh, it's in this shit somewhere. Well, you know what? They make poles every day. Crown of the skier triggered avalanche. It was triggered near the top of the image, right up here at the very top. You can see where the trigger was. Then, one more here. Yep, skier noted. Ski remote noted as we left the opening back into the dense trees. You know what always happens is I gets to drinking my coffee, and then I gets talking, and then I gets the hiccups. Well, that's what we got for avalanche incidents today. Avalanche Canada saying a slow-moving upper low will remain west of North Vancouver Island through midweek. It's brought unsettled conditions over the southwest ranges and southern interior ranges, but these will gradually end as the low edges further offshore. In the wake of the low, Arctic air will progress across the province, dropping temperatures and increasing outflow winds through coastal valleys. Cold and dry will be the story through the next week under the Arctic air mass. That's quite an awesome picture from our friend Ryan down there in Vancouver, who runs this Facebook group himself. If you're part of the Lower Mainland, you might want to check out. I'll show you in a second here what that is. But look at some of these snow pellets that came down yesterday in this convective storms. I think there was some lightning in areas down there yesterday. And Ryan says that there was even a funnel cloud spotted near a water funnel spout spotted near and was spouting around there by Boundary Bay. So what he's saying here, check out the snow pellet accumulations in South Surrey near Campbell Valley within the last hour. That was 15 hours ago. From a line of convection with a history of producing lightning, snow pellets, heavy flurries, and even a funnel cloud and water spouts over Boundary Bay. A dynamic weather day in Metro Vancouver, even though some saw very little activity. And this photo from Puget Sound yesterday down the Washington side shows this line of snow and hell all coming together. A very convective storm. It's like I wanted to be a thunderstorm, but instead it was too cold for it and just came in anyways, pounding like an absolute beast. So I'm not sure I've ever heard of funnel clouds off the BC coast in February. Okay. That's a new one, I'm pretty sure. I mean, people were kind of turning their heads at the one in November a couple years ago, and I was like, well, I can see how that still makes some sense. I don't know, like funnel clouds in February, that's completely unusual, absolutely. Look at that, high pressure, 1055. Are you fucking kidding me? That is extremely high pressure, my friends. Like, I'm not sure I've ever seen 1055. Definitely I've never experienced it directly. Does this cold get better at all this week? No. Tuesday, no. Wednesday, pretty cold. Looks like we're the one holdout. The Prairies gets better and BC doesn't. Friday, still cold. No, stop it. We're this low here. Supposed to make it warmer. Why didn't it do that? Pretty cold temperatures over the next bunch of days, my friends. I don't really like it very much. It's about 10:30 now. I've been getting to the recording for a little while. Pressure at 1,005.76 hectopascals here in Wells. It's a long cry from 10:55. Thank God. That's why it's only minus 21.3 here. Only minus 21.3. Yeah, and it's actually about as high as the pressure's been so far. That's pretty good. How low did we get last night? Only 23.6. So that's nice. We actually were just a touch warmer last night on the Diggy's Diner weather station than we have been. And windy out off the coast, this low on the backside, making some strong winds. Yeah, some 50s, 65s. Strong winds. Be gusty out there. Be blowy on the ocean if you're out there, but nothing completely unreasonable. What are we looking at, though, for temperatures? Still, and this is at 10:30 in the morning, friends. So keep this in mind that we're seeing minus 41 in Watson Lake, minus 39. It says the 40, 39 or 40 at Boya Lake. We're going to say 40 because we're a bad news show here. We want to really have the most extreme temperatures to report on. People love to. Doesn't it feel better when you're suffering and you're like, well, at least we're under an extreme cold warning. But here we are in the Caribou where, these guys have an extreme cold warning. It's like 13 or 14 degrees there, you fucking weenies. And we got 27 and 22s at Dragon Lake, 24 at Nasco, 22 at Jerry, up here in Likely, 23, Wells as well. Sliding Mountain reaching 26 on the mountain just over here, so go a little bit higher in the air. But a bit of an inversion must be going on because it looks like it's warmer in the mountains than it is down in the valleys, and that's the case. It is cloudy here today. And, what's happening is all the moisture that's getting put in the air is kind of landing. It's sort of sitting here right now in the form of cloud, and it will drop at some point. It has to because it's too cold. Luckily for us, that warmer air is sitting here, and the coldest air is sinking down in the valley bottoms. I'm sure it's probably quite clear down there right now. You can see how that Arctic outflow is coming right down the Fraser River. It's just using it as a highway to come make everyone fucking really sad. 31 below McBride Lake, 32 at Stearns, 39 at Hungry Hills, or 29, sorry. So we're seeing some 30s in that area, even Hilding down there by Utsa Lake. There's 26s being reported there, minus 26, pretty cold. Ooh, a Pothole Lake, 21, that's up in the mountain, okay. A little bit warmer, though, if you were down at Colo. These guys aren't complaining at all. They got minus eight. No wonder all the old people live in Penticton and in Osoyoos and whatnot. But even Vancouver, minus 3 at Vancouver International Airport right now, and this minus 39. We know that is bullshit. It's not true. It's not real. It's not okay. What's going on in the prairies? Oops, I zoomed way out really fast. I hate that. But look at these isobars, man. Look how tight that is. You can imagine that there's going to be some wind along that. Is there? Are we seeing winds along that are being reported? Yeah, a couple stations reporting pretty high, 52s and whatnot. So that would be pretty cool. You have that cold air kind of descending in there and making it very, very windy. Okay, back to temperature, though. That's what we came to look over here for. And you can see until you get into Ontario, you're looking at a lot of 20s across the board through the prairies right now. Very, very miserable, very shitty, very deep cold coming on down. Of course, also you have right now that precipitation band trying to reach its way from that atmospheric river that's been hitting Northern California. It's going to try to make its way north today if it can, try to beat this back. So you're going to see some moderation in the prairie temperatures, maybe even a little more than some of us in the BC interior will. And we hate you for that. Enjoy your, actually, you've had it so much worse this winter, so let's not be too crazy about it. But look at that. Arctic air really sitting down on us. Okay, what's going on for precipitation down the coast? We know there's snowfall warnings in effect, and there is, my phone's making a weird sound right now. That's telling me that someone's trying to say something to me. Okay, so some scattered flurries through southern BC. Looks like the majority of it, as this upper level low is just really stuck there on the coast. It's helping to steer this atmospheric river into California, which is spilling over into Oregon, up into the mountains of Idaho, across Idaho into Montana, and we're going to see how some of that's going to try to make its way into Alberta and Saskatchewan today. Flurries in southern BC. Yep, flurries. Not so bad for you. That's partly why it's a little bit warmer for you as well. You're getting a little bit more of that help from the ocean weather. Idaho seeing heavy snow tonight. And these are, flurries. I would call a lot of this inland. This doesn't look like, you can see how when you get the various colors and whatnot inside the snow bands, it's trying to indicate to you that higher amounts of snow down here in the bottom. You can see where it says millimeters and centimeters and things like that. So it gives you a better idea of how intense the precipitation is. We'll just click on here and see 3.9 centimeters per hour, right? You can see that that's organized, whereas in the BC interior, we're not really looking at that same sort of risk. Yeah, there'll be some flurries, though. There'll be some flurries, of course. And this doesn't want to resolve itself quickly down there. As a matter of fact, I feel like we kind of expected that low to I don't know. There's no point in saying it. Okay, so that low is out there, still sitting there longer than maybe I expected it. You can see how our atmospheric river is now moving into California. Would this bring some rain to Los Angeles area? That's a forecast change. I hope that happens. That would be really nice for them. Really nice for them. Big snowstorm in Idaho on Tuesday evening, and you can see BC getting clear gradually in time for Wednesday morning. Very little snowfall left. Very little bit, a few flurries in the mountains work themselves out. Yeah, and that's pretty much the end of it. That upper level low sitting down there off the coast. It may still impact that southwest corner of BC a little bit, but as you can see, we're looking at 30-degree below in Prince George, Williams Lake on Wednesday morning, Fort St. John. See, it's improving in Regina. They got that snowfall, they got the warmth, they got the moisture coming in with them, helping to moderate things, making it better. I just saw 32 below in Williams Lake. Oh man, that's so grossly cold. That's so absolutely stinkingly gross. Let's click on the temperatures here. 37 in Edmonton on Tuesday morning. Just backtracking here for a second to look at temperatures. Man, that is brutal cold. So Tuesday during the day, not warming up much in the Caribou. 30 at night, 20 during the day. Not a big warm up. And still, what's it at now? It's minus 21, and we are screaming our way towards the 11 o'clock hour, 10:35 right now. Screaming towards the 11 o'clock hour and still seeing minus 20 right now. So you can tell we're really in that pattern. We're here, 28 on Tuesday night at 9 o'clock in Williams Lake. Dropping. 30s in McBride, 26 in Burns Lake. A little bit better down south in Kamloops at getting to 20, though, for you. Revelstoke hitting 25. Going to be cool for Revelstoke. Definitely hitting at 35 over in the Alberta side. Desperately cold. Thursday or 32 for Williams Lake we're just looking at, so we got a bit of a picture of how that came. You're probably going to hit 30. Williams Lake probably happening for you. Really gross. And, look at that. Little warm-up for Fort Nelson. Fort Nelson. I'm having a bit of trouble with something going on here with my program right now, so hopefully we can get through this. Whatever was going on with Windy will resolve itself. But look at how that cold just wants to sit right there in the Caribou especially. It's like, it's really picking on us right now. Whereas you go to the far north, starts to improve for Fort St. John this week, but not for Williams Lake. 29 below again Thursday morning into the overnight into Thursday morning. 30, there you go. 26 Revelstoke still Thursday morning, 6 a.m. Brutal, bitterly cold in Blue River. Kamloops hitting just a 20, getting down there. Very cold, very concerning for everybody who's got to live on the streets and sleep in the cold and work in the cold and do things outside all day. Okay, Tuesday, a little warmer on Thursday, but again at night, 23s. That's still an improvement though after after having a bunch of 30s. No, there's 26. I spoke too soon. Okay, everybody, that's the show. Hit like, share, subscribe. I'll come back at you with a bad news show later on today. Lots to talk about. Our sovereignty's at risk. It's time we all talk about it. Be very honest, be very clear, be very angry as Canadians, and have respect for ourselves as a country. Hit like, share, subscribe. Like I just said, donations are very much welcome. Hit the super share there, super thanks there, and make sure you join Patreon or join the channel here if you want to support independent broadcasters like myself. Okay, that's me for now. Bye now.